A wise sage once said that he creates by speaking. He does not need to speak to educate. He speaks to create. And a lot of the times, so many people out there are just talking the talk. They're not really walking the walk. And it takes a lot more effort to walk the walk than it does to talk the talk. But someone that is spiritually aware of themselves, someone that is aware of the spirituality of the times that we are living in, the spirit of the time, you could say, the more you're going to be aware and the more profusely you're going to use your words to direct certain energy into the realm of existence. And what I want to talk about today is how you can not only talk the talk, but you can actually walk the walk. And you can talk and walk simultaneously by speaking and singing things into reality, so to speak. Now, what do I mean when I say singing things into reality? I don't mean actually singing something, but I mean having a meaning with your words, and why you should actually put your spiritual wellness and your physical well-being at the forefront of your day each day. Like, those are the things that you need to be accommodating to first whenever you are doing anything with your life. I mean, are you going to wait until you're older, until you're 350 pounds, before you start to realize that, damn, I need to lose some weight. I need to actually go for a run. You know, I was like that. I was nearly 200 pounds, and I looked at myself in the mirror one day, and I thought to myself, you know, this just isn't right. And yet I still continued to eat the pizza and watch Netflix and play Fortnite and continue to eat ice cream. And I finally got to that place in my mind where I had to make a decision, where I could keep living like this forever, or I can start doing push-ups. And so I started doing push-ups, and that's exactly where I've been led to now. Here I am, nearly lost 45 pounds since then. And I'm not saying this for any kind of glorification. I'm saying it because I was a lazy, pathetic piece of shit, to be honest with you. I didn't want to do the work. I didn't want to do what needed to be done for my life. I had given up to some degree. I was already on the spiritual path. I was alone. I was in some of the toughest moments of my life. I didn't want to actually compete in the world. I didn't see the reason to. I didn't see the reason to communicate with people because it seemed like everywhere I turned, people would betray me. I didn't seem to see the point in wanting to have relationships with people. And here's the thing. I'm still, in some way, not really all about making relationships with people. And the reason for that is because most people in the world are just not on this path. They don't want to be improved. They don't want to have self-improvement. They want to stay stuck in their ways, and they want to stay telling themselves there's certain stories about what reality is in their head. They don't want to let go of the story that they're telling themselves. They don't want to actually change their story, because it is possible for you to change your story. And I'm living proof of that. I was not raised in the best environment. It wasn't the absolute worst, but it sure as hell wasn't the best. I shouldn't even be here to some degree. And here I am, being used as a vessel of the ancestral father, and all the praises go to him. But there's great power. This is something I've learned. There's great power in being willing to just be alone, to not talk too much, and to give meaning to your words. Because when you give meaning to your words and you speak the truth into being, then you're going to create a life that is more sustainable, more enjoyable, more fulfilling in the long term. The more you align yourself with God, and the more you align yourself with the best possible version of yourself, it's almost like the less... It's not that you don't want to have relationships with people. It's just that you become far less intrigued by their lives because they all live the same freaking life. They all go to work. They all hate Mondays. They all love Fridays. They all drink on the weekend. They all party on the weekend. They all smoke, or they all drink, or they all get tattoos. They all get piercings wherever. They don't know how to save their money. They don't know how to invest their money. And here you are, just trying to be better, and people don't want you to try. And you start to realize just how toxic people are, too. You just start to realize how toxic individuals are. It's almost like they can't even... Like, you will get to a point on your journey spiritually where... Especially if you're you're an empath, like you will have this degree of, you'll be able to kind of feel that knot in your stomach when you're around certain people. And it's not just because of your nervousness. It's like you can feel their nervousness. And you're going to be able to pick up on certain things more frequently. But especially if you're around a toxic individual, you're going to get to the point on your spiritual journey where it's not going to faze you. Like, thank God for indifference, right? Because there are some people at the gym that I go to day to day that I do not really want to see. And there are going to be times where I don't have to communicate directly with them, but if I'm using a machine and then they pop up next to me and I still got a set or two on my machine that I'm working on, I'm not going to just drop what I'm doing to just fit their reality. I do believe in coexistence. However, that does not mean that I have to stay there. And that does not mean that I have to stay there if I really don't want to. You know, if they're not really bothering me at that time, then it's no big deal. But if they start to like play those mind games or instigate something, then that's when I just remove myself from the equation altogether. But one other thing that I've learned is so important, not just in the workplace, not just with your relationships, but with yourself, specifically with yourself. If you can learn how to communicate with yourself, you can communicate and learn how to communicate with anybody. And I genuinely believe that. I wholeheartedly believe that if you are capable of honestly communicating what's going on inside your body, inside your mind, your emotional health, your spiritual health, you're going to be solid. No doubt about it. And something that I've also noticed in regards to relationships and not really wanting to be around people, it's more like the more I see people being around other people, like if there's a woman, even if she's a solid 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, but she's going from dude to dude to dude every single day, like that's not attractive. And she's not going to be very physically attractive. And I know deep down inside that she's probably not accepted herself to some degree. And so, yeah, she has this, she can have this confidence about her, but it's a fleeting confidence. It's not something that's sustainable. It's not something that is there and connected to God. And then with the men that are going from woman to woman to woman, I know as well, I don't ever want to be around men like that, because I know that they don't really value those kinds of intimate relationships. And I'm not saying that if like, and I mean like day to day to day or week to week, you know, that's just ridiculous in my eyes. I don't see how you can be okay with yourself and still do such things. But then also on the flip side, if you're going from job to job to job, That's just a sign of inconsistency. If you can't hold down a job, then that's just another sign of your incompetence. And guess what? Like, I am so selective on my team of people that are in my circle and around me. In fact, I don't even say that I have friends, because I don't really believe in having friends. I don't think friendship is really necessary to live a fulfilling life. And I know Aristotle would disagree with me on that, because he has 2 chapters devoted to friendship in his Nicomachean Ethics book that he wrote. But I think what he means by friendship is more so companionship. And there's a difference to me between companionship and friendship. Friendships can come and go, and I think at the end of the day, you're either building with someone or you're not. You're either creating something with someone or you're not. And if people are trying to put in the effort, that's okay. That's a good sign. But sometimes it's just, some people are liabilities the more they put in the effort. And it's not because they're not trying. It's not for a lack of trying. It's just that they're trying in the wrong places. They're trying to do things that they're not like competent to do. And so I would say, like, stay in your lane. Know what you can do. Know what's really good for you. Know what you can bring to the table. And that would be the best way to operate in any kind of relationship. I mean, think about any kind of job. You don't go into a graphic design job with the experience of a JavaScript engineer. Like, that just doesn't make sense, right? It just doesn't make sense to do that. And it doesn't make sense to, if you are looking to be a manager or a CEO, rather, let's say a CEO. If you're looking to be like the CEO of a company that is well established, but you have 0 manager experience, that's not going to be, you're not going to be taken seriously for that role. Mainly because you just don't have the experience in that area. But at the end of the day, what we're here to do all together, in whatever realm of life and whatever realm and domain you're operating in, is to bring people a healthy lifestyle. And that starts with you. If you're not being healthy yourself, how do you expect the people around you to be healthy? And so sometimes when environments are too toxic for you, you're going to have to just remove yourself. And a lot of the times, and nowadays, that's one of the reasons why I keep to myself. I know I'm healthy. Like, I know I'm good. I know I'm chill. I can be whatever the environment needs me to be, because I'm alert. I'm ready to go. But I'm also relaxed. I'm not tense. And a lot of the times, people can be very tense and anxious. Here's a crazy story. So, well, it's not too crazy, but it is kind of strange. So yesterday at the gym, we were, everybody's just working out, everybody's doing their thing, and all of a sudden, we see police officers walking in, walking around. They're like, they're scanning the room. They've got their hands on their guns. It's like, what the f is going on, And I just sit there calmly. I'm just chill. I'm just watching out of my peripheral. I'm keeping my head on a swivel because I don't know what's going to happen. Like, if they have their hands on their guns, they're just prepared. Like, what is that? Like, that means something might be about to go down. So I'm not going to, like, jump the, no pun intended, but I'm not going to jump the gun, but I'm not also going to just sit around and just, oh, yeah, it's a lolly day. I'm not just going to be lost in La La Land either. But I'm alert, and I'm keeping my head on a swivel. And my goodness, this lady next to me, like 2 machines down, starts freaking out. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? And then that gets everybody else around start to freak out. And all I do is I just look at them and I just give them this, like, what are you doing? Look, like nothing's actually happened yet. Let's just chill. And it's just like, what? Y'all need to just take a second to look at the circumstances and the situation, and don't get so caught up in what's happening. Like pay attention to what's actually going on. Don't start like, and especially here's another thing. If people like that are freaking out and nothing's even actually happening, oh, then you know they don't need to be there in a crisis. Oh, they don't need to be there at all. You don't need them. They're not going to be any help whatsoever in a crisis. And I'm not saying women should be like ready to go in a crisis. I'm not saying that, because I do think that's more of the man's position. But at the same time, like, you can't keep a level head. Oh my goodness. It's going to be a long day for you then. But nothing ended up happening. Like the police officers left soon after, and people were like, "Oh, thank God! Oh, thank goodness! Oh." My gosh, these people, man. And it's like, yeah, that's why I stay alone. That's why I'm good alone. Because I know that, and here's the thing, these people were like physically fit. So just because you're physically fit, that doesn't mean that you have it all together. Okay? That's a great starting point, and that's like the basis of everything. That's I'm certain on that. But that does not mean that your spiritual health and your emotional health is all there either. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. And with that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful. And until next time, peace be with you.